Yay, streaming, Hangouts, huzzah. Nobody in the chat room yet, but that's okay, because I think we have Manny coming in soon.
Talking, but my mic was muted.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you were just being quiet, and I was like, okay, I can totally carry this. No big deal. No big deal.
No. Just forgot to unmute my mic. Yes, we are doing Patreon Hangout.
Yeah, we probably should have been more clear that we're not actually using, like, Hangouts, because boo, Hangouts.
No, that's Skype. Skype's where it's at. As soon as Google Hangouts becomes as good as Skype, then we'll switch.
And that's not really a high bar.
Well, they continue to hit the bar as opposed to going over it, so... I actually haven't used Google Hangouts in a while, but I find it kills the old CPU.
All right, so we need to get Manny in here, and we need to get Manny in here now.
Sure, Manny.
Do you have Manny on the Gamers In Skype account?
Yeah, so I don't know. Let me look here. If maybe Manny has his real world name in here, but if not, Manny, send a Skype request to R Murphy TGI, and that will we'll get you in here. Yeah, send a Skype request to R Murphy TGI, and that will.
Oh, whoops! I was like, I thought you were still talking, but I just realized that I opened up the page to make sure we were streaming, and I was like, why are you telling people again what Skype account it is? Never mind.
Past Brian, what are you doing?
Being nutters. That's what you're doing.
R Murphy TGI. I haven't actually watched a full TAC Hangout, so I really don't know what... this is our first one, so we'll have to sort of feel it out, and we'll learn from our mistakes and from different things, and implement next
I was
time.
going to say, I don't plan to make mistakes, but then I was just like, oh, wait. Totally going to make mistakes. I am making so many mistakes with the Angry Chicken Tournament, let me tell you. I just had like an hour-long Skype call with Callum, who is amazing. So he basically was like walking me through different services and stuff, because the service that I chose, that basically I had help. I had a very, very awesome guy named Ryan, randomly, helping me out with planning the tournament, and then he got hired by Blizzard, so he wasn't allowed to do it anymore. So I got all of this stuff kind of like half done by somebody else, and I was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing now, or what kind of thought process, like where you were going, what your plans were for doing all the like team registration, all that kind of stuff. Or not team, I guess, participant registration. Mm-hmm. So anyways, like the service tournament is actually not that great and would involve so much manual stuff on my end that I was just like, oh man, I was talking to Callum and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, with all of the volunteers and everything else, it was going to have to be like everyone emailing in results and basically just a mess. So Callum was showing me a whole bunch of different services that are actually a whole lot better than Tournament. So we're not going to be using Tournament, but I sent out an email like a couple of hours ago to everybody saying like, this is what we're going to be using. And now I've changed my mind because of all the help that Callum's giving me, and the whole thing's just such a shit show. I'm just like, oh man.
Well, I'm glad that you've hit a new high with that, though. That you're figuring it out, and hopefully it'll end up working out. But...
yeah, at least I am figuring things out. But right now, it's just a mess, a total, complete, utter mess. Like the emails I sent 2 hours ago are now no longer valid. I sent them to volunteers. I sent them to like participants, and now I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. This is all such a mess, So
well, I'm sure we'll clean it up.
I hope everyone's going to be all forgiving.
No, yeah, oh, yes, they will. Saturday, everyone's forgiving.
Ugh.
Sweet. No, actually, it's Sunday. No, tomorrow's Sunday. Tomorrow, everyone's forgiving. Today,
not so much.
I don't know.
You can't say that, man. For a second, I thought you were actually saying it was Sunday, and I lost my weekend.
No, it's still Saturday. I feel like it's Sunday though. I'm having these weird weekend moments where it's like, man, really feels like tomorrow's Monday, and that's kind of depressing.
Yeah, I know. Oh man,
But no, it is Saturday.
this whole weekend has just been a blur. I worked until literally like 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and
Oh.
I give up on everything. I'm done. I'm out.
Aw,
Hi,
well, we
Manny.
got our first patron on the Hangout.
That's
Yes,
true.
I'm a relatively new patron. I didn't even know you guys had it till I had stumbled into it the other day, and I was like, why am I not throwing my money at you guys? So
Thank you.
glad that got out there. No, I had like a bunch of questions, but I didn't want to like commandeer your time, so I just wanted to ask like narrow it down to like the sort of important questions. Um, One of the questions was when you guys are streaming, do you have like a particular type of game that you sort of look for, or do you say, or you like rule out because it's like this wouldn't be a good game to stream?
Do you mean in general, or do you mean when we're playing like with patrons on Thursday nights?
In general, mostly like certain games are like, well, this will be good because I can like engage my audience, or this is bad because I won't be able to talk to anybody while I'm doing it.
It kind of depends. When we're doing our game night hangouts, obviously we look for things that are multiplayer because we want to bring the patrons in. But just for random general streaming, I don't know. It kind of depends. Some games are better for streaming, so something like Hearthstone allows you more interaction because it's not so involved right away. But then other things like Smite, I prefer to stream because they're entertained by all the cool stuff that's happening, and they don't necessarily have to understand exactly what's happening as long as it creates really cool visual effects without overrunning your computer, because streaming takes a lot more of your computing power than people kind of realize. I was actually talking to Octane Pro about this because he just built, he has like a 2 system rig now. So he has one that he plays the game on and one that handles the stream. And so I was talking to him about potentially doing the same thing for me. And I was like, I was thinking of using my old computer as my streaming computer and then my new computer as my gaming computer. And he's like, no, other way around. Like, you need way more power to do a good stream than you do to actually run the games. And I was like, oh, I never would have guessed that. I would have thought that I need the better computer for the gaming, but it's not the case. So you want to have good, entertaining graphics, but you have to balance that with performance. So, things like Smite, they have things that go off, every 20, 30 seconds sort of thing, but it's not overwhelming the stream for the most part. I totally missed whatever just happened in the chat room.
This is a teddy bear. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with teddy bears.
It was a Nazi teddy bear.
Oh, God, and the Nazis are back again. Oh, man.
I took care of it. Now,
thank
you were talking about Smite and how like the lore, right?
Well, yeah, basically you need you need something that's entertaining visually, but you need to balance that with what your system can handle and still produce a good stream. And then there was something else that I was going to say makes a good streaming game. Oh, yeah, the funny moments, right. So then you want something, too, that allows you to interact a little bit with your stream, interact a little bit with the other people that you're playing with. Playing with other people usually does help because then you can kind of create these fun moments where you're talking to people and then something crazy happens and all of a sudden, before you know it, you've got a meme. So it's stuff like that you really look for in a title that you're going to stream. Ryan, do you have anything else to throw into that?
Well, like on the streaming side, it's super obvious that we enjoy streaming like competitive multiplayer type stuff where it's fast and furious, and we get a lot of people watching our Smite stuff that say like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, that's that Smite game I see those ads for." It's like, "Oh, this is really neat." I don't, but and most people actually try the game because they've watched us. I know a lot of people that play with us now actually started playing because they watched us play on one of our streams, but in terms of like games that I feel don't really work for streams, I've been doing more gameplay videos like for my YouTube channel, and I find that like first 20 minutes of some games, like story-based content like Ori and the Blind Forest or the Grey Goo game that I've been playing, just work better as like archived footage as opposed to a live stream, because it's just all about getting in there, commenting on what's going on and getting out. But like the dynamic content of a multiplayer match where, like Jocelyn said, you're producing moments that are random and that you can't plan for. That makes a really interesting stream and also makes a really interesting YouTube video as well. I think that when it comes to like single player content, sometimes that's better like as a curated sort of archived manner. But some people will do like live playthroughs of things like, but we don't normally do single player live streams unless I can't even think of the last time we did like maybe Diablo.
Yeah, it's
But
been a
even
really
then,
long time since I've actually streamed something just completely by myself that wasn't Hearthstone.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe
When you say
WoW.
like Diablo, do you mean like Diablo like 1 when it was not like Diablo 3 where you can have multiple people in?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I'm talking about Diablo 3, but even then, you're right. It's like multiple people are in there. You're not really paying attention to the story. You're just kind of like go, go, go. So I don't know. I think streams are more fun when you don't care about what's happening on screen and you can like look away and interact with the chat room. Like you're not worried about getting in the way of the storyline, or what you're doing. Because there's nothing worse than going to a website to watch a video of a game you're thinking of buying, and then all you see is like a part of the gameplay, but most of it is just two people like talking over it. It's like, no, no, I actually want to like figure out what's actually going on, and I can't when these two people are like constantly talking over these cutscenes and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
But
that's something you
yeah.
do have to be really careful about, is that you're still giving your audience what they want to see. So you have to be understanding about, like, if there are cutscenes happening, like, you have to be quiet. You have to let people see that content. And you have to make sure, especially if you're streaming with other people, if it is a multiplayer title but it still has story, you do have to be very aware of saying, like, okay, first of all, everyone who's on the call knows that you're streaming. And everyone on the call knows that you're trying to provide content. And so when a cutscene does actually come up, you have to be like, okay, guys, cutscene. And everyone has to know that when you say cutscene, like, be quiet. Sometimes I find like I have to actually go in and mute Skype because people aren't paying attention to the fact that I have a cutscene and I'm the screen that the viewers are seeing. So you do have to kind of keep your audience's experience in the back of your mind the whole time that you're streaming, and sometimes that can be a difficult balance. And I think that's really what sets a good streamer apart from a great streamer, is who's keeping their audience in mind the most. And the most often too, because you also have to balance your live audience with your, I guess your VOD viewers is
Sure.
like, and we try to keep that in mind when we're doing the podcast too, because, you know, streaming takes multiple forms. It's not always just gameplay stream. And so keeping those people in mind too, it's like we try to interact with the chat room as much as we can, but keep in mind, like, I mean, and I know both Ryan and I are guilty of this, and we have to remind each other sometimes to be like, oh, you can't just say, oh, haha, that was really funny, because not everybody's reading the chat room. Not everybody knows. Like, you have to say, oh, chat room just said spluh, and then here's my reaction to that, as
Yeah.
opposed to just being like, ha 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 ha, chat room, got me again.
So that sort of like leads into like my next question, which was like, what are like the biggest lessons you've learned over the course of streaming and putting out videos?
Trying to balance bringing the chat room in and reading the chat room with still creating engaging content, because it's really easy to get sucked into the chat room. You go off on tangents. You have conversations with chat room when, you know, somebody listening to or watching the VOD later doesn't actually know what that content is. So being able to make the people who make the effort to be there live, because it's a huge effort, but it's probably only about maybe 2% of our audience that actually makes it to the live show. And I think that anywhere from 1 to 2% is pretty standard, you know, like even shows as big as like The Instance, God, that might be like 0.5% of their audience that actually makes it to the live show. So you really have to keep in mind that the content you're creating isn't 100% for the people that actually show up live. Most of your content is actually consumed, and in our case, probably 90% of our listeners are actually exactly that, listeners. They're not going to the VODs, they're not watching YouTube, they're not here live, they're listening on iTunes. So you really have to keep your audience in mind when you're creating your content. And so you have to be very aware of saying, like, really spelling out everything that's happening. And you have to do it verbally. You can't just do it. You know, that's why sometimes you'll hear either Ryan or I to say like, oh, and right now I'm doing blah, because most of our audience can't actually see what we're doing. And even when we're interacting together, like Ryan and I can't see each other. And as you're experiencing right now, XSplit takes over my camera. So whoever's in the call doesn't actually see Jocelyn. So sometimes you really have to spell out what's actually happening on camera, because only the live Twitch viewers and then later the YouTube viewers are going to be able to see all different views of the cameras.
Yeah, and in terms of, I think what we said before is developing content that your audience wants. It's also about creating content that makes you happy as well. Like, for example, today I was recording Massive Chalice, and I was explaining to Jocelyn lately that in the last few episodes I was recording, I kept dying, and I found out that I've just been playing the game totally wrong, and I'm doomed to failure. And at that point, it's like, is it still fun? The game's still fun, but you got to think like, well, is the content any good? No, you're just continuously dying. Maybe it's time to restart, do a season 2, something like that. So it's very important to kind of understand like, okay, am I having fun? And if I'm not having fun, is anybody watching this having fun? Like, probably not, maybe not. But you also have to ask or say to yourself, like, if you're having fun and you're creating content, don't worry about who's watching it, who's maybe not watching it. Some of the best advice that I've heard from people when it comes to creating content was like, create content that you enjoy, create content that you think other people will enjoy, and just don't worry about the numbers. Like, they'll show up when they show up. Don't just put it out there and expect a herd of people to come, but
yeah, I
put
think
it out there and
actually
yeah.
Jury on the morning stream this week at some point had some really good advice, and basically it was like, create content for the people that are already here. Don't worry about the people who aren't. Don't worry about trying to grow your audience or anything else. Like, you've got an audience and they're freaking awesome. So you know what? Just make your content, make it for them, and anybody else is just bonus, right? So I really like that way of thinking.
He's made a lot of comments about podcasting, and I think that's kind of the way he got into it, in the sense that, like, well, I remember when he was describing his YouTube videos he was doing, he's like, I don't know if anyone's going to like this, but I sure as hell have a lot of fun making funny voices and wearing a fake mustache, so I'm going to do a stupid video about a traveling professor. I can't remember his exact wording, but it was really interesting way of putting it. Like, we do this for fun and, throw it out there, and you can spend your time worrying about why people aren't watching it or where your audience is, but it's more fun to do that smartly. Like, rather than worrying, just put it out there and figure out, okay, like, why aren't people enjoying this? Like, why are they enjoying it? And what can I do that's fun for me and fun for other people? And that's sort of how I know I balance stuff, and I'm constantly trying new things. But like, when it came to Gamers In, it was just about putting out a show that I felt I enjoyed putting together, and other people seem to enjoy it as well. And it's just been a lot of fun too. So that's the main thing, is fun.
Yeah, as long as it's still fun, we're going to keep doing it. As soon as it starts to feel too much like a job, then that's when you have to stop and think like, okay, does it feel like a job because of the content we're creating? Does it feel like a job because of the demands that the fans are putting on us? Or are, we just making it a job of ourselves? And how can we change that? Can we change that? And, is it going to be more work? Do we need to put more work in? If we do we even want to do it anymore? So it's kind of like constantly reevaluating what you want to do, how you're feeling about what you're creating, and then what the fans are expecting out of you, and trying to kind of balance all that and make sure that you're still enjoying it at the end of the day. And I mean, I'm still enjoying it. Ryan, you still enjoying it?
Of course. Like, it's video games, right? What's not to enjoy?
Exactly.
You just don't dig a hole that you can't get out of. Like, again, like with the Massive Chalice stuff, I felt like I had dug a hole, and like, it's easy to get out of because it's just like, it's a YouTube series. It's a game. I'll restart it. We'll figure it out. We'll do better, and we'll make better content. Like, just like this show. Like, it's gone through its revisions. It's gone through its, brainstorm, put our heads together and figured this thing out. And we're constantly adding to it. We're constantly taking, like, we used to do, remember, it was like quickfire news.
I really liked the quickfire news segment. I'm kind of sad that we had to get rid of it, but at the same time, it was the most work. it was
Yeah.
frustrating and annoying and stressful because, you know, like it would be, you know, I'd have a really busy week at work, say, and then it would be coming up to showtime. I had half an hour left and I was like, crap, I have to find my articles, I have to write my blurbs, I have to get ready to go. And, you know, that wasn't fun anymore. And so as soon as it stopped being fun, as soon as it started being stressful and being a job, I was just like, okay, that's out. That segment's done.
Now it's just like, hey, do you want to talk about Nintendo doing this? It's like, sure. Okay, there's our topic. Okay, what have we been playing? All right, this is what we've been playing. And then it's like literally 5 minutes of prep.
It's 5 minutes
read
of
an
prep
article.
now, which is so nice.
Yeah, and now we spend more time probably setting up for the many different ways we do the live stream and recording than we do actually with the notes.
Yeah. And
So
that was a
trying-
big difference too, actually,
Yeah.
going from, and that's something we learned. The first couple of episodes, our notes are so extensive. It was basically like we were sitting on mic just reading a book. And we found the less notes that we had actually written out, the better the content was that we were creating. So now it's just like if we know that there's something that we want to make sure that we mention, that goes in the notes just as kind of a prompt to remember to stay on track. But in general, it's just a list of games that we played and we just go from there.
Now, I found that like what's really unique about the different podcasts that I listen to compared to the Gamers In is how free form it is. It's really just I sit down, I hear you guys talking about things that are interesting you, and it's actually stuff that's generally interesting to you because you're not just like, well, we have to talk about this, or this is the subject that we have to stick within. You guys are very much just like, that was really cool. Let's talk about that, like, and bring it to, I guess, your audience. And a lot of what you're talking about is like that balance, like finding the balance between this and that, and like what you want to do and what you feel the demands are of it. The last thing I really wanted to ask you guys was, when you're changing from, well, when I'm playing games, I'm enjoying an experience. When you guys are playing games, you're creating experience. And so that's sort of transformative. Like I play games, and the first time I play through something, I don't look up anything. I just play it in whatever I can figure out. If I completely suck, so be it. And then later on, I'll play through and I'll be like, okay, let's see what the net deck is, or let's see what the guide would say to do things. So I had a level 60 shaman that I completely didn't look at any guides. And then later when I made a second tune, I looked at the stats and how to min-max and everything, and it was a completely different experience. And as soon as you start looking up at stuff online, you lose that first exploratory experience.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys find there's a lot of pressure to look up things so you know what you're talking about, and you don't have people in your chat or anything being like, no, you noob, you're not supposed to do it that way?
That's kind of one thing that we've tried to keep, at least I try to keep generally in my gaming experience, is I go in the same way you do. I don't look stuff up. I just try my best, and I like to experience the game just top to bottom. I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer since I was, 4. I love video games. And so I find that, my problem solving skills are usually enough to get me significantly into the game. If I get stuck, I'll look it up, but I have to be really stuck for a really long time to the point that I'm going to just, put the game aside and never play it again before I'll actually go look something up. So I think that even though that usually means that we don't get through games as quickly as, a typical game reviewer would, I think it provides a different view of the game than you would get from going to like an IGN, And I think that that's part of what makes Gamers In a little bit different, is that we're coming at it from a kind of more casual view. We're taking the time that we have to create an experience and a review that I think people can really relate to, because we don't just blow through everything and give them the same information top to bottom about the game and, what's the best way, what's the fastest way. And I think that that's the audience that we've cultivated has come to expect that out of us. So they don't expect us to be the absolute best at every single game that we pick up. They don't expect us to finish it in an hour. What they're looking for is like, hey, if I am Joe Blow who works 9 to 5 and I literally have 2 hours a week to play games, what am I going to get out of South Park Stick of Truth. What am I going to get out of Shadows of Mordor? Probably the same thing that Ryan and I get out of it, because we have a little bit more gaming time, but we also try to touch on as many different titles as we can. So the amount of time we spend with a game is usually an hour or two before we first start to talk about it. So I think people don't expect us to know everything. I think that's why they come here. So we haven't had very many problems. We haven't had people really saying like, oh, you guys are such noobs, with the exception of Hearthstone. But I do a show completely about Hearthstone, so that's a little bit more expected. Gamers In is a little bit more casual. So I don't know, Ryan, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the show started and will continue to be a show where it's like, what did Ryan and Jocelyn play this week? You know, combined with some industry news and stuff. It's never about like, all right, the big release is Evolve is a good example. Like we both have Evolve. We both have not played the whole thing all the way through. That's kind of tough and part of the problem. But like it's a multiplayer game that we're playing and experiencing. And when we feel that we've come across something worth talking about, we'll talk about it. If not, maybe it only appears in the show once. Like for me, I play the game. I play a lot of games, and that's just the way I sort of go about it. But sometimes I will seek out games specific for Gamers In to find something interesting to talk about. And most of the time, that's not because it's not a chore. It's just it helps me experience new games. Like I've been playing a lot more iOS titles lately, and playing games that are like puzzle games where it's a weird, like, what was the one? It was like a suicide pact, get everybody into the sun at the same time type game. It was really weird and quirky.
That was the iOS one, right?
Yeah, it's called Sunburn. So, like, it's obviously, because of the premise, is going to create an interesting conversation. I mean, I don't know if you listened to the episode where I talked about Massive Chalice, but, like, that's probably where all the Nazis keep coming from, is they think, like, oh, this is our show. This is our show. But no, it's you never know when an experience is going to where it's going to take you when you discuss this stuff, and I don't go pick up a game thinking like, this will suffice for this week and be really cool. It's like, no, this is a game I actually want to play, and this is a game that'll be worth talking about. And I play a lot of Nintendo games too, so like if it's a new Nintendo game, it's like, okay, I'll probably get that and I'll probably talk about it. And that's sort of like my first mantra, but I love playing games and I love talking about games. So I'm all over the place when it comes to games on the show.
Sorry, I just, my phone was going off and I was just looking at what's going on Twitter. Apparently, the new chicken art in GVG was actually commissioned by Ben Brode as like a shout out to the Angry Chicken podcast. So
the nude chicken?
No, the new. There's like they didn't want to change the old Angry Chicken art, so when they commissioned, because there's oh shoot, I can't remember the card now. Anyways, there's a card that like makes a chicken, and it's like a 1/1 nothing, and the card art on it really is like a very, very angry looking chicken. And Ben Bro just confirmed on Twitter that that's a shout out to us, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh, I'm trying to find a picture of it. That's cool. That's how you know you made it, kids.
Yep.
When Blizzard's incorporated your podcast into their game. Hey, It worked for the instance.
I think it's a token. You can't actually collect the chicken card, but.
Oh, so wait, what? It's a token.
It means it's created by another card.
Oh, you know what?
Poor Ryan.
Angry Chicken is Angry Chicken is now Hearthstone for me. It's merged. But yeah, Hearthstone. There's so much stuff in there. I need to get back into that game. I don't understand it. It's cards, right?
It's
still
be completely changing soon with the new expansion coming out. So now's the time when nobody knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I know spiders. I know that much. But that was like last July.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, dude.
I know. I have not. The gnome thing, I don't know. I got to get in there. I got to sort that out. That's something I should probably do. But no, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Garrett's freaking out.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Small question that you guys have brought up with the new expansion in Hearthstone, and I'm not going to start ranting on Hearthstone. Is it released week after week like Nax was, or is this different? Because
I
they haven't
think
said that.
I think I read somewhere that it is going to be a week-on-week release, so it's going to be like one wing will open because it's the same sort of style as raiding in WoW, where you get one new piece of content each week, another wing opens, sort of thing. So, yeah, I think it's going to be week to week. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. I can't tell you my source off the top of my head because it's just one of those things where I read so many Hearthstone pieces. I really can't remember. You know what? Let me look it up. Hearthhead will know.
The internet at our disposal.
How did
Use
conversations go before the internet?
they just like, I'll get back to you. I'll mail this question off. No, I'm actually looking forward to the new adventure. I really enjoyed parts of Naxxramas that I did play, but again, it's just a matter of sitting down and actually figuring out how to beat those bosses. And I just really enjoy like the humor that they've set up in like sort of quote unquote campaign. I thought that was really cool. And the funny thing is, I haven't done Naxxramas or what is this new one, Blackrock Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done either of those.
Well, Blackrock Mountain isn't out yet, so.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh, wait,
WoW?
you mean in WoW? Oh, you haven't done it in WoW. I see.
No, I haven't. Well, maybe I have. I don't know.
Blackrock Mountain in the game is now like alluding to all the different things. So there's like Upper Blackrock Spire, Lower Blackrock Spire, Molten Core. All that stuff is sort of being put all together in this one expansion that they're going to draw from to do the cards.
Okay, I have done lower and upper, but I have not done Molten Core. But I hear I didn't miss much with Molten Core.
I did Molten Core. I got my Core Hound. It's awesome.
I went through on the first day and it was fine. I went through 2 weeks later and I wanted to hit myself. It was 3 hours of grinding and crying.
No one ever no one ever wants 3 hours of grinding and crying to be all in the same scenario. Like you never want that much crying and grinding together. It's not good. It's not good.
Well, back when they were doing the hard bosses in Cataclysm and everybody was dying, I was fine with that because it was like a half hour of watching people just completely rage. Mm-hmm. And I could deal with that because I was a healer. And once I went boom, it's like, well, you're all dead. But no, when it goes on for so long, everybody gets tired of it. So I know the expansion isn't going to be like that. I love Hearthstone. I've really gotten back into it ever since February and Josh Teletin. So
that seemed to make an impact on a lot of people, which was really humbling, I guess, for me. I didn't really think that anybody else was going to get behind it. It was just some hashtag that I think Sparky Shocker might have made up. And yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah, you guys want updates? Sure, I'll give you updates. And then all of a sudden it just exploded. And we've had so many emails from people saying they either hit Legend or, got back into the ladder and really, pushed and are enjoying it and loving getting into the competitive side of the game. And that was just, oh man, such a positive experience. So I'm not doing it this month, but I'm going to do it again next month. So.
Oh yeah, no. When Keeping Up with Josh shows up again, I will try and keep up with Josh. But it's just you can only play so much competitive before you burn yourself out. Yeah. So it's good to take a break.
Exactly. Ryan, do we have anybody else that we need to bring into the call?
Sure, yeah. If anybody's wants to be up next, just ping me on Skype and we'll swap out. But Manny, super awesome questions and insightful. Yeah, really great questions and just the answers. We haven't really talked about that stuff publicly. Occasionally we'll talk about it pre and post show and before a game night and it also talking about it with people who are our listeners also helps us choose what games we do play on game night, because most of the time we get a lot of suggestions on our Patreon. And for those who are watching that aren't patrons, patreon.com/thegamersin. Every Wednesday night I post basically game nights tomorrow, what do you guys want to play? I try to mix it up in my wording, but that that helps you guys choose what we play. And we have our regulars that'll say Smite, DD2, or Evolve occasionally pops in, but Heroes has been dominating lately, and we'll usually pick one that we feel works best, or Majority Rules, or sometimes just we'll even say straight up hey, this game we have Evolve, do you guys want to play it? And if there's enough nods, then yeah, we go with that. But definitely check out patreon.com/thegamersin, and you guys can actually tell us what we should be doing, as opposed to us kind of being like, this is what we're gonna do. But I've lined up Niblet Man here.
Sweet.
Well, thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
and,
thanks a lot, Manny. That was some great questions.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Later.
Thanks, Manny.
I was like, Ryan, you are failing so hard right now.
It's always I apologize, people. Like I'm trying to pull one person in. Manny, you were awesome. Here, Niblet Man went offline, so he's got the initiation, so he's there. Yeah, while we wait. But sorry, Manny, I didn't mean to make it so awkward.
If anyone has been following the show at all, they know that you are the absolute king of awkward. Transitions are not your forte.
It's just so hard to say goodbye, you know?
I know.
But no, that was great. That was awesome. There he's back now. So we'll pull him in, and I'm sure Niblet Man will have some questions, some hard-hitting journalism questions. No, don't do that. Fun questions. He's coming up. He's coming up. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Sparky Shocker. Yes, he did create the hashtag he's saying.
He did. Oh, I remember.
Yeah, of course. Just a legend. How's the Terps thing going? Is he ahead of you yet, or?
He's ahead of me by 1 rank, but he keeps like going up by a rank or 2 and then falling down by a rank or 2, and I've been like not playing at all, and I'm just like steady because I'm not playing, so I'm not losing, and I'm just laughing at him because he's trying so hard. Just like, I need to take like 1 day. I'll probably take tomorrow and just like grind up, hit 5, and then laugh in his face.
Right. Well, Nibble Man, you've got the initiations. He's probably still trying to sort it out, and oh, there he is. He's coming now.
There we go.
Hooray! Hello.
Hello. All right, it worked.
So you are Niblet Man, but what's
Mike.
Mike, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Again, the conversation we had last night in the after show, like trying to connect these names to
Skype to Twitch to Twitter to real life.
Yeah. Who is who?
Exactly.
Yes. But you are Mike, you are Niblet Man.
Yep.
Hear me roar. So what's up? See, awkward. What's happening? What do you want to talk about? This is your time to shine.
No, I mean, I actually did like put together. I'm like, okay, so questions. I gotta get something going. So I actually put some together and wrote them down, and there we go. Okay, so do we want just funny stuff or something serious, or what do we want to do?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to ask.
You
All
start
right,
serious and finish funny, and then yeah.
Okay. All right. So I played a bunch of The Order, and so also Shadows of Mordor and a bunch of other stuff. What do you guys think about a lot of current games where they're basically just ending on this
I've heard that. There seems to be a lot of games that just aren't bringing it with the ending. And I feel like, and I hope I'm wrong, but I really feel like what they're trying to do is take new games like Shadow of Mordor and like The Order and saying like, well, if this does really well, we kind of want to leave it open for a sequel. We don't really know where this story might go, but, you know, as opposed to other games like, for instance, Mass Effect 3, or well, Mass Effect, I guess, in general, they had a trilogy, they had a story, they knew what they wanted to tell, and that's why there's 3. There aren't 3 because Mass Effect 1 did fantastically well, and they went, we should probably have a 2, and then 2 did really well, and they go, well, we should probably have a 3. So I think it's just it's a marketing thing and a money-making thing, and I don't like it, but I think that that's what's happening, is like, the endings to these games are so meh because they don't know what they want to do. They want to end off the game but leave it open for a sequel, so they just end up in this weird gray middle ground where, you know, like, it doesn't wrap up the story well enough, but it also doesn't set up a new one well enough because they just don't know what to do.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it was especially Shadows of Mordor. It's like this big, you know, lead up to the Hand of Sauron, and then it's like, you know, quick time. Oh, look, he's dead.
Yeah. It's tough. Like when you come up with a bunch of with Shadow of Mordor, when you come up with a bunch of mechanics that define that game, like with the Nemesis system and the combat and all that, and then you get to the boss fight and like Do you spend time and money trying to come up with mechanics that make that boss fight interesting, or do you just finish it? Like it's almost like it probably would have been better as just a cutscene, right? Rather than having a boss fight. Some of the hardest things to do that developers have to figure out is the ending, is boss fights, conflicts. And I think the one developer that is truly nailing it time and time again is Nintendo. Like, they are the kings of boss fights. Look at Zelda. Is there a bad boss fight in Zelda? Never. The boss fights are always awesome.
I was going to say, there's a couple of really annoying boss fights in Zelda. I'm thinking of the one where you have to grab the eyeballs. Like, you have to use, the hook shot to grab, and then, over and over and over.
Well, see,
they're hard, but
yeah, but they are solid. They're a solid encounter based on solid mechanics. Blood Anubis in the chat room is yelling Metroid.
Arkham games, actually have been really good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a really great example of a third party developer that's nailing boss fights. Arkham, the Arkham series, but
Rocksteady.
Yeah, it is Rocksteady, which is surprising because they helped out a lot with Shadow of Mordor. Evidently, they didn't stick around for the boss fight. They're like, all right, you guys got this. We're going to head over that way.
Well, it was funny. The first boss fight was really fun against, I don't remember who he was, guy with the big mace.
One of the orcs. I don't know.
No. He was like a guy in a bunch of armor and had like Sauron's mace thing or something. But it was like a ton of orcs and him, and it was like you had to like get your combo up on the orcs and then end up behind him and do a special move, and it was really cool. And then the next two were like, okay, sneak up behind him and stab him twice.
Yeah.
And then quick time done.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that was just poorly. But like, to your point of like middling story finishes, it is really unfortunate when that happens. Like, you're really into a story and it just feels like, whether it's a planned, there's a sequel, or whether it's guys, we need to get this out the door. You've had enough time on the story. You need to figure out an ending point. I think that was an issue that people had with Mass Effect. It's like they had to get it out the door, Mass Effect 3, and the ending, they put an ending out that they felt was good and they felt was great, and they put it out there and people didn't like it, so they spent more time to fix it. But as for like the current trend, like, I think that's like the current trend now, because it's either you put a game out and you sell it, or you delay it. Like, Sony delayed Uncharted 3.
And it's actually, that's part of why I'm really looking forward to The Witcher. It's because they keep saying basically, like, look, we're not ready to do this. We're not going to kick this out the door half done. We're going to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, we've seen so many games. I'm thinking Assassin's Creed is the one that comes to mind, right away, as something that was clearly not ready to come out and got pushed out the door anyway. So I think I'd rather see games get delayed. And I know a lot of people, when games do get delayed, there's always the Reddit and Twitter uproar. But really, that's the better way to do it. And I can't remember exactly who the quote was from, but basically it's like, you might get a good game late, but a bad game is a bad game forever, or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote. It
was Miyamoto. He had said that about Mario games.
Oh, there you go.
And another testament to how Nintendo really knows what they're doing. And when it comes to game development, we won't talk about hardware today.
No, we did that yesterday.
We have a limited amount of time. But he basically said, like, a game that if we spend more time on a game, then we'd rather launch it finished than broken.
Yes.
So it's important. And I don't understand people who get upset about games being delayed. There is so many great games coming out each week. Uncharted is going to slip, so what? There's going to be 10 other great fall releases, I'm sure. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Or we just play WoW. I mean, let's face it.
Right. WoW. I mean, it's not like we don't all probably have about 20 games on our Steam library that we haven't actually ever touched.
Oh God. I think probably 70% of my Steam library has never even been installed.
Yep. No, I was going to say that high, but yeah, there's definitely a good percentage of them that I'm like, oh yeah, I have that.
Oh, yeah. The worst is when you get the sales and then you're just like, oh my God, that game is only $5. I'm going to buy it. It's already in my library. Crap.
Yeah. I've been there, and I've gotten a lot better about it, but I've still got this problem where I'm like, oh, I really want to play this, but I've gotten away from buying things that like, ooh, I really want to play this, and it's on sale now, but do I have time to play it? Probably not.
Probably no.
Probably not.
I did that. There was a game that was on sale the other day. I can't even remember. See, and this is the problem. I can't even remember what the game was that was on sale, but basically I got an email. Oh, it might have been Assassin's Creed 3.
Was it Fable Anniversary? Because that was for me this week.
Oh, was it?
Oh. Yeah.
I got an email from Steam, and they're like, a game on your wish list is for sale. And I'm like, fantastic. And then I'm just like, okay, I don't really have time to play this game right now. Like, do I really need to buy this title? No. Back away from the computer, Jocelyn. Steam does not own your soul.
Yeah.
It secretly does.
PC, man.
Yeah. So on a slightly less, let's be serious. What other stuff are you guys into as far as like, geeky things, comics, TV, movies, collectible things, whatever?
For me, it's definitely sci-fi and fantasy TV and movies. I spend so much time in front of the computer that it's when I need to just like chill out and relax. I love my couch time with my Netflix, and I gravitate towards sci-fi and fantasy. In terms of collectible things, I don't really collect all that many things. I have like my really awesome geek shelf behind me of just the things that I've kind of accumulated over the years. I mean, and it's all over the place. Like, I mean, there's like collector's edition of ESO up there. There's like my Zelda book. There's my plush Hearthstone. What else? I've got a couple of pops, some books, plushies. I am a sucker for plushies. I don't really have like I have to go out and buy them the first thing, but whenever I have an opportunity, I'm just like, little plushie, whatever. Gandalf, love it.
Nice. Yeah. For me, it's outside of video games, like I'm kind of a zombie fan in training. Like I really like The Walking Dead.
In training.
Well, I do another podcast. It comes up occasionally when we are playing zombie games, but I do a podcast called Zombies Ate My Podcast, where my co-hosts Lou and Bob and I talk about mainly just The Walking Dead, because let's be honest, really, like the only current content coming out. I have not watched iZombie, but I'm currently The Walking Dead is the best zombie content out there. The rest is kind of like B-movie slop. At least that's my opinion. They don't share it, and often they'll remind me that they don't share it.
There was some interesting stuff.
But I hear iZombie's really great. I'm probably going to watch that this weekend, but I watch they're constantly having me watch zombie movies, and I enjoy them.
iZombie, isn't that the one where isn't she like a mortician or like a something, and she has to eat the brain, and then she finds out what their last thoughts were or something? I don't know. Yeah. I've only gotten bits and pieces of what the show is, but
I believe it's another comic book thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an Image comic, I think, and it was a limited. I think they did a limited run. They did a couple series. We read the comics, a couple comics for the show, and they were really good. And I guess the show tweaks the. She works at a graveyard, I think, in the series. And then in the TV show, she's like in a morgue, and she helps like detectives solve crimes by eating the brains and then saying like, oh, this person probably was from this location. She helps lead. She's like zombie Batman.
I feel like this would be, it's such a good concept.
I was going to say, if it's a concept that you're interested in at all, you should also check out Chew. Which is a really, really funny detective comic that I believe is also by Image. But it's basically the premise is this guy, anything he eats, he knows what it's been, like where it's been, what it's been doing, what happened to it. Unless, of course, it's beets, which it doesn't work on, so he eats lots of that. But
I guess they have to have something, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's, occasionally he ends up basically having them bring him just, like, horrible, awful things. And, like, being like, okay, now you gotta eat this, like, the finger we broke off the dead body or whatever.
Oh. So he's not a zombie, right?
No, he's not a zombie. There's an actual word. It's like a cybopath or something. Like, they have all these kind of people, like, for whatever reason, this world has all these kinds of people. Like, his girlfriend ends up being this lady who can describe food to you in such a way that you actually taste it.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
I'll have
And
to check it out.
This whole thing.
it's really funny. It's fun.
This what is it? This is iZombie?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Okay, yeah. The whole iZombie thing reminds me of probably one of my favorite TV shows of all time that got canceled way too soon because of the writer's strike. Pushing Daisies, which
I
was
love that
Oh,
show.
yeah.
yeah, it's basically the same sort of idea where he has the ability to bring things back to life, but only for a very short amount of time. And if the thing stays like back to life, basically, then something else has to die in return. And it's a really cool concept, and he does the same thing. He fights crime, so he goes to the morgue, wakes them up, asks them what happened, and then touches them again, and then they die again, for good this time. And yeah, it was such a good show. He was the pie maker, and oh man, I want to go watch it. Okay, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go rewatch this show.
Pushing Daisies is a good one.
It was so good, and I loved the actors in it. It was just such a fun, whimsical type show.
Yeah. The main actress, super cute, and like the main actor, he was awesome. Like I had a man crush on him, and he played the main villain in Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy with all the makeup and the hammer and stuff.
Oh, the blue guy.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The pie maker was.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the pie maker was the main villain in Guardians of the Galaxies. He wasn't the blue guy that had weird teeth. He was the blue guy that had like
Ronan.
Yeah, he was Ronan. Thank you, Ronan the Destroyer.
No way.
Yeah, he got super buff and he just like started wearing paint every day, and it's like you're hired. So it was. I need to watch that movie again.
Oh my god!
You didn't know that?
I did not know that at all.
Well, I mean, he didn't make a single pie, so he like the correlation, and also he killed people. He didn't really
being you know, gigantic and blue.
Yeah, it threw me right off because he was super duper like thin and
yeah, he was kind of lanky.
yeah. Oh my god! Now that you say it, I can't unsee it.
Yeah, and the way he talks, he's kind of got a weird gruffness to him in the movie, but
Man.
But yeah, as for collectibles, like I've mentioned on the show before, but like I've kind of fallen into the amiibo pit. I've sort of crawled my way out again, so I'm like just grasping my way out. I have like I don't even want to say how many I have, but I have a lot of them, and I've sort of limited my purchasing down to just getting the characters that aren't gonna get re-released a bunch of times. Like I'm not gonna go out and buy the new Mario that came out yesterday, but I did order the Toad. Because Toad's like, when's Toad gonna get another amiibo, right? Like it's fucking Toad. But I got Sonic. Sonic's not gonna get another amiibo. I got Mega Man. Capcom's pretty much killed that guy, so like he's not gonna get another amiibo. And
I'm happy I picked up the Mega Man.
Yeah, Mega Man's rad.
Yeah.
But while we have you, I'm not gonna cut you short, and I'm not. But I want to say, anybody else in the chat room who wants to chime in, just chime in on the chat, and we'll pull you in, and we'll swap people out. We're gonna have to.
Sure.
I think
I only have about 15 more minutes.
Yeah, we'll start speeding it up, and like I think this will give everybody an idea of for next time that the sooner you comment, the sooner we'll get you in here. We'll try to like make a priority list next time. Well, you know, it'll be this is not going to be the last one. So don't you worry, all your patron heads.
Oh, yay, Sparky Shocker.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. We'll bring in Sparky Shocker. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. You're awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was a ton of fun and good questions, and thanks for doing it. Love what you do, guys.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Have a good weekend, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
I don't actually think I've seen all the episodes of Pushing Daisies. I'm just looking at it now, and I'm just like, I think I watched up until the writer's strike, and I don't think I picked it up again after. I'm totally the reason for the cancellation. Me and people like me.
So I watched it all, and I keep Googling, like, when are we getting, like, more content? I hope, like, I just wish Netflix would bring it back, and there's, like, a comic continuation, stuff like that. But we have Sparky in now, so we'll give everybody the 15-minute warning just so we know we're going to end at 6:30 EST. If anybody else wants to jump in, chime in chat. We'll bring you in. We'll do some quick fire questions. Maybe we'll just have like a couple people in at the same time and have a group conversation. Again, send your thoughts on this whole process to us, and we'll take them into effect for next time. But so Sparky, thank you for joining us. Now, Sparky, We need to connect you. What's your real first name? It's not Sparky, is it?
It's Cameron.
It's Sparky. All right, I'm gonna write. That's not as catchy, so I'm just gonna write Sparky. No, Cameron. We'll write that. Eventually we're gonna connect everybody, and it will understand everybody's name.
Yeah, we'll need to make a list.
Yeah, we should make a list. That's perfect. So Sparky, what do you want to chat about? This is your time to shine. This is your patron segment.
Well, have you guys picked up Battlefield Hardline, or you plan on picking it up?
It's one that I am planning on picking up, but I haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't yet.
If you like the story mode on Advanced Warfare, you're gonna like this one.
Oh, good. I did like it. I didn't make it all the way through the storyline, but I made it probably a few hours in, and I was liking it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I love the Dead Space franchise, and those are the guys handling Battlefield Hardline, and their mantra was to bring a decent single player campaign to Battlefield, which hasn't had one ever. Well, except for Bad Company, those were pretty good. Yeah. But I'm interested, and I think I like the idea of it being like a B-roll sort of like cop show type setup, and like turn in your badge and gun. You're too dangerous for the streets, O'Malley. I don't know what his name is, the main character, but I'm interested. I don't know. Like the reviews are kind of all over the place, and I'm not a multiplayer guy. Like I'd probably just play the single player. Did you pick it up?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So are you enjoying it then?
Yeah. Played multiplayer for the first time last night with a guildmate in the AIE, and it was actually pretty fun. It wasn't as good as Battlefield 3's. It was, I think, a little bit better than 4. I did not like 4.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
The story mode is pretty. It's good. It's done in a way like it's a cop drama. You have episodes. If you exit your game, they tell you next time on Hardline. And then when you come back in, they kind of do a little, like TV shows do, a pre-show, last time on Hardline, and go through a bunch of cinematic things. I think it's really well done for what it is.
Yeah, I really like that setup. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 did the whole like TV setup where every time you'd quit the game and come back, it'd be last time on Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1 Penal Colony. And it'd go over all the ridiculous things that happened. Zombies, I ate something weird and now I'm puking violently. Like that is like, I don't need to know that again. I experienced it once, but it's nice to see like other tentpole games using that, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but I'll play a game and then I'll have to revisit it like weeks down the road. I'm like, I don't remember what I did. I need a previously on Skyrim. Yeah. Why do I have all these severed heads in my bag? You know,
that's like Zelda for me. I can't put that game down and then get back into it a week later because I forget where I'm at.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise, but I'm glad you picked it up, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. See, that's the other thing too that's cool about this show, is that I feel like we don't have to play everything, because our listeners, we like to involve our listeners as much as possible, and I feel like our conversation about Battlefield Hardline is more interesting than the content I've actually read on Polygon and IGN. I much prefer to hear from our listeners about what they're enjoying, as opposed to going to, IGN and finding out like, oh, like Polygon gave it a 6 out of 10 because of police brutality. Like, okay, sure. I don't know. I don't know actually what they did, but I know that Polygon was kind of, and rightfully so. There's some news out there that's kind of not good, but Polygon, everybody.
Yeah, and it's got like a Splinter Cell feel to it. You can play stealthy if you wanted to, so it's kind of different than previous Battlefields.
I've heard you can like flash your badge, like you can show people your badge and be like, get out of the ground. That's kind of cool.
Makes you feel badass.
And if you don't keep your gun on them, they'll pick their gun up off the ground and attack you.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Like if you don't like prove you're a police, like do they actually ask like, you're not a police officer?
They ask who you are.
Oh, okay, good. And then you like get up there and you're like, well, my badge number is 555. No, that sounds really cool. And does multiplayer incorporate like the police mechanics, like with the badge and stuff?
No, it doesn't. At least not that I've seen. I played Conquest, which probably is the format I played most. And then they have a new mode called Hotwire, and you
Hmm.
steal cars, and I don't think you saw it in there either.
Oh, that's too bad. But yeah, like I heard it was more stealthy, so that's interesting as well.
Yeah,
Do you find this is the story interesting?
yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
You
Cool.
it kind of gave itself away a little early on, but I want to say halfway through, and you go from one side to the other, and it's pretty cool.
Very
But
neat.
you follow the same guy around. Yeah, I think his name's Nick Garcia. I want to
Oh,
say.
that's a super cop name.
Yeah, that is totally a cop name.
Garcia. I have 20 years on the force. I'm retiring next week. I don't know why he only had to work 20 years. Maybe he had like a fast track plan or something. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you're playing that game because it kind of skipped over my radar. I'm not a big shooter guy. Like I'm a Halo person and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I'm and wish they're doing a bunch of like teasing for Halo 5 this weekend, I hear. So we'll probably get a new trailer soon, which is awesome. What platform are you playing on?
I'm playing Hardline on PC. Um, I may, depending on how many people I know on Xbox One, pick it up there.
Oh,
Um, but for now on the PC.
cool. Yeah, I'd
Because
probably pick it up on PC.
having a 3-year-old, you kind of don't have your TV when you want it.
Aw.
Or you don't want to show them like police shootings and all that fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a dark game. Well, I mean, like it's a shooter, right? Like I think you can. Like I wonder, like I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about this. But I wonder if I could get away with Halo. It's like, oh, but they're aliens.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
don't
good.
know if you could or not.
There's
I
no
played
swearing.
Halo in front of her, so
So we'll see how
There-
she
there-
turns out, and then
yeah.
that'll be the
Let me
test
know
for
how
our
that
kids. Be like,
works.
oh no, Halo was a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. But wait, no, your daughter, was she the one that was playing Smite with us the other day, or was that somebody else?
That was her.
Aw.
Oh, yeah. You remember that, Jocelyn?
Yes.
It was super cute. Yeah, your Sparky's daughter was kind of commentating on Jocelyn's princess character.
Yeah, I was
She
playing.
was
Who's
playing.
that? Oh, it was Chang'e. Yeah, or Changa or whatever.
Oh, it's
That was so
awesome.
cute. Where'd the princess go? Bring back the princess. That was awesome.
Yeah. Blood Anubis in the chat room is appears to be outlining our schedule. He's saying game night, then podcast, then hangout. The hangout is not necessarily going to be on Saturdays. We'll probably play around with it and see what people's availability is. But
I do
just
like Saturdays because I mean, like people like Sparky in California don't necessarily get to hang out with us all the time. So,
And that's
because
why
we
we
don't
picked
do it
that.
too late. I mean, it's kind of late. It's 9:30 for me on Friday nights, and game night is 9 o'clock. But you know, a lot of times people are only starting to get home when we're kind of wrapping up game night. So I like the Saturday because it kind of opens it up to more people.
Saturday is nice, and the 5 p.m. time slot, like you said, opens up not only to time zones here on our continent, but also in Europe as well. And also works for Evan. I think it works for Evan. He's like this would be early morning for him, right? Like
Yeah.
he's in Australia. So oh, he meant because he only discovered TGI last week. So yes, okay. Then yeah, we planned the perfect trap for you.
Yeah.
But game night and podcast stream. Now there's a hangout. Make it rain podcast content. And then he's like dancing and there's like content going all over. It's really cool. But yeah, so if anyone else wants to join in, or if we're just gonna wrap up with Sparky, that's awesome. That's fine.
Yeah, I think we should just we should wrap it with Sparky this time, and then if you guys want to go to patreon.com/thegamersin, then you can put your questions in there for the next one, or sign up. Make sure you get all the Skype info so you can call in, and we'll have the times posted soon for the next one. I think they're monthly, right?
They'll be monthly, yeah. So we'll try to get the next one up there shortly before or right around April 1st. And again, like Jocelyn's saying, get your questions in early. If you have a question, we are I don't want to say limited in the amount of emails we get, but we sometimes have about an email a week. So if you guys want to just ask us your questions normally and just write it in an email or jump in on the chat, like we're always taking listener feedback and stuff for our shows proper. So if you have a burning question that you want us to answer, write it in an email.
Absolutely. Manny in the chat room wants to know if you're going to play any games for an after show.
Not tonight, unfortunately. I think my wife is asleep, and when I said to her, I was like, I've got to go do this hangout, and you wake up, so I got to cook dinner and then possibly wake her up, and she had like a 4-hour nap, so she's probably super well rested. I think we got plans tonight, but
cool.
We should do something soon.
Yeah, I might be streaming later on. I do have the new Braid 1-year anniversary, so I'll probably stream some of that. I just have to check with Sparrow and make sure that he doesn't mind. But yeah, so new Braid 1-year anniversary is tonight, so I'll probably stream some of that. If not, I just have to go eat. I am like starving right now. My stomach is eating itself, so I need to go eat. And then yeah, after that we'll see. I'll probably stream something. I do have some more work to do. Lame, but.
So you're not gonna go watch Scott Jocelyn?
Oh yeah, Scott. He just started his NVIDIA show. I forgot about that. I think it's 3 hours long though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do that.
I'm sure he'll still be there when I get back from dinner then.
Yeah.
Weekly, or is he just subbing for one week?
No, it's weekly. It's a new on the NVIDIA channel, I think. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, experience point.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right now he's doing the news, and
I think there's going to be some gameplay. He was talking about bringing in some Frog Pants personalities to do some gameplay and stuff with him week to week. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely will tune into that. Does anyone have the link handy? I'll throw it in the chat room.
Yeah, I'll throw it in the chat. It's twitch.tv/NVIDIA. He's live right now and will be live for another 2.5 hours. It looks like he's just going over the news now and talking about himself probably, and he's wearing cool sunglasses inside. That's how you know he's a boss.
Oh, those are whatchamacallums.
Oh yeah. Ray-Bans?
No. Crap.
Are they like transitions or?
No,
they're the gaming glasses.
They're the gaming glasses. Yeah. Oh, what are they called?
There are gaming glasses?
Yeah, Dills has them too. They're it's to help with like the glare and stuff when you're gaming all the time from your screen.
I did not know.
Protects your
this.
eyes. Gunners.
There you go.
I am gonna look into this. I'm gonna buy some Gunners. I'm sorry, but that sounds like kind of a weird.
I think you can get them with prescriptions too.
Yep.
Really? Gaming eyewear. Oh my. Gunnar.
Yeah. It's Gunnar.
Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into these. Well, you know what? That we've learned something new today. Cool. Well, thank you, Sparky, for joining us on
this.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you to all the patrons that called in today. That was awesome. And really, really good questions. I'm always amazed at what you guys bring to the table. So thank you so much. Really good content. All because of you.
Yes. It's all their fault.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, I think, going to do it for us this time, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will do another one in probably about a month's time. And yeah, so I think that does it for us tonight. If you want to tune in for Gamers In Game Night, that is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We stream that over at either twitch.tv/thegamersin and or twitch.tv/gisgamer. So if you want to check out those streams, you can. If you want to participate and tell us what to play, then go to patreon.com/thegamersin and put your money where your mouth is, and then we'll pay attention. That sounds terrible. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
we pay attention to our listeners no matter what. The Patreon's there just to give you guys an outlet if you so choose to use it. And like I said, if you have a question and you didn't get it into the Patreon show, email us, tweet us. We're always listening. We're always responding.
That is so true. I feel so bad that I said, usually it's you putting your foot in your mouth and then I have to save it. So this is just, I'm not used to being on this side of the whoops.
You're very hungry.
I'm starving.
It's the only disadvantage to the 5 p.m. Eastern is the first thing Ashley said to me. It's like, well, what about dinner? It's like, well, I guess we do it after. It's like, well, how long will it be? It's like, I don't know. It's the patrons. I think this time it kind of worked out. We had 3 people who wanted to come in and ask questions, so the hour-and-a-half slot worked. But maybe I don't know, how long does the TAC one usually go?
An hour on the dot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we limited it. We could do that too if you want.
But yeah, and if you guys want to check out our normal podcast, that is streamed on twitch.tv/amovetv, and that is every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So that'll do it for us today. Thank you, everyone who called in. Thank you, chat room, and thank you, patrons. And we'll catch you next Thursday. See ya.
Bye, everybody.